leadership. Number 4 is transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is based on the ability of the leader to motivate and influence followers through their intellectual stimulation. I'll repeat that again. I'm going to take that again for those of you that are writing. I'm sorry I could not display my screen. I think the system has a challenge. Now, what I'm saying in essence is that this style of leadership, transformational leadership, is based on the ability of the leader to motivate and influence followers through their intellectual stimulation. They motivate their followers through their intellectual stimulation and individual consideration. So these leaders offer a role model that inspires. They are like a role model to people. Talking about transformational leadership style now. The subjects or the subordinates, we see the leader at the top as their mentor, someone that inspires them. They have seen what is able to do. So everybody follows suit. These leaders offer a role model that inspires, interest, and challenge their followers to take greater ownership of their work. So that they see him up the close of what the leader is doing. The transformational leader understands the strength and weakness of each follower and assists. He also he understands the strength and the weakness of each follower, and he assigns tasks that enhance each individual performance. Transformational leader would not be biased when giving responsibility. I mentioned that while I was teaching delegation strategy. You don't put sentiment when it comes to giving responsibility. A man that is transformed in his mindset will be willing to put people in their area of specialty where they specialize on what they can do. Every man has gotten his own strength. So transformational leadership will not take risk of, let me use the word, for someone. He knows that the transformational leader understands the strength and weakness of each follower and assign tasks that enhance each individual performance. He knows your strength, he knows your weakness. Leaders who have a clear vision and are able to articulate it effectively to others often characterize the style of leadership. This kind of leadership style is meant for those who have great vision. So many leaders, that opportunity, want to put them aside. No, a leader must be able to carry people along and the work God gets to the promised land. So this kind of style is actually meant for transformational leaders. It's meant for those who have vision, who understand their vision, who have clear vision, who understand that everybody is needed in this vision. Everybody is needed. Every man has his own place in the vision of a leader. So it is key and it's very important perspective when trying to solve a problem and are able to instill pride into those who work under them. They give them that confidence, they build them. Transformational leadership, these are leaders that motivate people to bring the best out of people. Transformational leaders are leaders that knows where they are going to without being deceitful. They know where they are going to, and they train people, they motivate people, and they put people in their area of specialization. Transformational leaders spend time coaching their employees and learning from them as well. Now, it is not about him teaching alone. He understood that there are people under him that work with him who also have a beautiful and fantastic idea. So transformational leader try as much as possible he is giving out is also gaining from the subject or his employee. That is what I have reached out. As much I have wants to contribute to the growth of the organization. Abby Toffler says that the problem of the 21st century is not illiteracy, but the problem is to learn, relearn, and unlearn. Leaders are meant to be learners. But the fact that you are the leader does not actually say you cannot learn from your subject. No, he or she also have an idea that will help the organization to grow. Let me mention the last one, which I call transactional leadership style. I think that's number 5. This has to do with rewards, cognitive reward or praise. Sometimes management by exception, and sometimes it brings about sanctioning. I'm talking about transactional leadership that is all about strictly business. This leadership style is characterized by centralized control over employee. The transactional leader will control outcome and strive for behavioral compliance. Employees under a transactional leader are motivated by transactional leadership praise, raise, and promises. What I'm trying to say in essence is this. In this kind of leadership style, it's all about business. What you do is what you get back. Anyone that does well, the leader will come out and shower praises in the also be corrected by leaders. Well, I'll praise you in the presence of people. When you mess up, I'll mess you up in the presence of people. It's strictly business. So this kind of leadership is beautiful, fantastic as well, but it has kind of limitation as well, because it is not everybody that can actually take that kind of public sanctioning or public embarrassment. This type of leadership makes certain assumption about your team. Firstly, that they are only motivated by reward or punishment. So 2 things will be in their mind. It's either I am given reward or I receive the sanction, which is punishment. So they have no self-motivation. Secondly, that they know from the onset that they must obey your instruction as a leader without question and expect to be closely monitored and controlled. It's all about, this is what I want. Once you are able to give it to me, this is what you get. If you can't give it to me, this is what you get. That's what transactional leadership style is all about. The most leadership style is using a combination of style. Like as I'm running up this now, is as a leader, you must understand all of this, because all of somebody will raise that, okay, what kind of leadership style will you advise to make sure about that? A combination of styles, combining all the styles of these leaderships that I mentioned. Leaders should know when it is best to be autocratic. You must know when you should be autocratic and when to be democratic. Sometimes there is need for deliberation. Sometimes there is need for you to be autocratic, but not every time. That's why I suggested earlier that you can actually combine all of this together. They can also be transformational and transactional at the same time. These are not mutual exclusive style, and in fact can complement one another extremely well. All these leadership style complement each other. You try as much as possible and blend all this together for you to have a good result as a leader, because the truth is no leader gets to the promised land alone. No leader can actually achieve success alone. It is not possible. At a point, you will achieve success by your own idea, but the idea you've gotten cannot take you to the promised land until you bring in people that will help you, that will push you to the promised land. Now, let me quickly rush when it comes to, what we are discussing is leadership and team development. So I think in the past we've talked about team development, but let me do a concluding part on this team development. I want to discuss on what I call the Topman's group stage. In leadership, you can't run the organization alone. You need to have a formidable team to actually achieve success in your organization. And if you are putting team together, like I said, you don't have to be biased about it. You must be careful who you are bringing in to be part of your team. You must be careful who you are bringing in, so that the man you are bringing in will not destabilize what you have labored for a very long time. So there are stages in forming team. We have 4 stages which I'm going to be mentioning, and the forming stage. The second is called the storming stage, that is storm. The first stage is a forming stage. The third one is norming, that is to normalize the performing stage. So I'm going to mention, I said it is called the forming stage. For every team, there is a time you come together to form that team, and the team has to be formidable. This first stage involves the bringing together of a group of individuals, different people from different spheres of life, different ideology. This first stage involving this is coming from A, the other one is coming from B. You bring them together. Everybody is happy that we are coming together. But the truth, that is just the beginning of it. As at that stage, you've not done anything, it's just a formulation, because already you have told them what is expected of them in that team. They have this positive expectation about the venture, although they might have some anxiety about other members, such as who tell they have that because they are coming together. Initially, individuals behave independently of each other. Everybody wants to form that I know this, I know that. At the beginning of this, you have to be careful, because if you are that kind of person that is not patient, at this stage, everybody is just coming in, everybody is pretending. The forming stage is a stage of pretense. You don't know who is who. Everybody comes in, I can do it. Okay, join the team. After forming the team, here comes the second stage, which is the storming stage. Storm. So at that time, all things you have told them, your procedure, they have tried to throw it off, because now everybody wants to show his academic progress, as the case may be, or trying to show this is what I can do. So it now leads to the a kind of storm during this second stage, where because there is so much challenge in the team, there will be so much conflict. Everybody wants to express himself. You will see more evidence of internal conflict. Your role as a leader is to contain and direct this energy into productive channel. Everybody wants to show what he has gotten, but they will have issue because there's going to be a kind of conflict. You need to be aware that some level of internal conflicts will cause a simultaneous dip in team morale. So some of them that were not strong will lose confidence, and if the team leader is not careful, they will start seeing that, oh, maybe these people are to top one day. So more support.
Wow. I think we lost again. No, so.
What I'm saying is this: your management role as a leader will have to become more supportive, guiding the team in their decision making and offering explanation of how to direct you at this stage to see how the organization, you have 5 teams that want you. As at that time, if care is not taken, there will be so much rancor among the team members. So you need to come in as at that
Unfortunately, we lost our connections to teacher again. Please continue to be patient. We'll get there.